What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here with Muscle Serpents Daily, and we're doing some cleaning in the snake room. I got Kirsten in the back there helping me out, and I got my Burmese Python here who's blowing some air. He just came out of his cage. I gave him a break. I had him in with a female for the past couple of weeks. I haven't really seen any breeding action yet, but so I'm giving him a little reprieve. I'm gonna actually, today we're gonna go outside. We're gonna bring some snakes outside and see how they're looking in the direct sunlight, because as I've noticed the last couple of videos I did, I've taken some snakes outside. I've gotten a really good response from you guys because the lighting really lights these guys up. And this guy's never really been outside. I want to see how he enjoys, going out there and playing and, feeling the grass under his belly, and maybe checking out some trees. Look at that white belly. That's a great belly. So anyway, he's choking me out a little bit here. So we're gonna just pick some random snakes and have some fun today. As we head into the weekend. Hopefully you guys are had a good week, and this first week of the 2021, and have an enjoyable first weekend as well. So let's check out and see what we got. This is what I think, or at least I was calling a snow albino axanthic when it first was born, and because I thought it had a little bit more pattern to it. Turns out now that I look at it, this snake actually looks more white than the Moonglow, the way it's developing. She's a little bigger, this one. So and she's got a white eye too, which is usually moonglowish. I'm wondering if I produce two of these things. I'm in shock. That's why you don't sell things very fast. You hold them and let them grow, especially carpets. For that first year, I don't sell a single thing until after at least 1 year, when they go through that ontogenetic color change. This snake is really, really white. There's a tiny hint of yellow, but not much. This is about as white as it gets. This thing has gotten whiter than the other one. And they're both pretty damn white. So I don't know. Once again, that's the exciting thing. That's why whenever I do these videos every week, I always say, I'm not getting myself super excited. I'm not making any definitive calls on anything. This is about as white as I got. This is whiter, this snake, than the other one. It's got like a very faint diffuse pattern, almost reminiscent of the Moonglow boas that I have. There's almost zero yellow in there. There is pattern, but there's zero yellow, which to me might mean that she's more Moonglowish than the other one. Her pattern's more blanked out. Let me see, I don't want to lose the focus here. My new iPhone. Pretty cool. Nothing like checking out a beautiful pied Burmese Python in my backyard here, getting to play in the grass. He was like laying in the cage like a lump of nothing because I'm trying to breed him, and I bring him out here. Now he's also got all this energy and he wants to run around. Who can blame him though? It's a beautiful day out here. It's a little chilly though for these guys. It's probably in the low 70s, but he's moving well. Look at him. Look at him going. Love to see these guys in nature. Well, not really. We don't want to see him in the Everglades, that's for sure. But this guy will never be in nature. Aside from, he gets a little playtime out here. He's checking out all the naturalistic stuff that he doesn't get to see in his cage, which just has paper in it. This is probably his first real tree. Windy out here. You can hear the wind in the background. Nothing nicer than a pied Burmese Python. They're just gorgeous. And this guy is just a regular pied. He doesn't have any other genes in him. And so hopefully this year, if he breeds, we're gonna maybe produce some visual pieds. That's the goal. I don't know if he's the problem or if the female. I haven't really seen too much breeding action. Look at that belly. Look how white that belly is. It's gorgeous. Imagine a really high white pied like this. It's just the whitest of white. It's even the black-eyed leucistic super hypos are not that white. They have like more yellows in them. The whites in these pieds stay really, really white. They don't change yellowish. They don't turn colors. They stay really nice. He's really a nice looking snake too. He's got a good personality too. When you first pull him out, he can be a little, blows some air and stuff like that, but he's a good boy, And I think he's a perfect size for breeding too. Not too big. I try to keep him on the smaller side. The females are bigger than him for sure. But we don't want to let him get too far away from me here. Once he hits the water in my backyard, I'm not diving in after him, so we're not going to go near that. All right, here he is in nature. All right, to contrast the pied we had here before, I have a albino champagne Burmese Python now, male. This is my big boy. He's actually put on some really nice size this past year, and I fed him very gingerly too, and he's packed on some nice mass, as we say in bodybuilding. And you can see he really sticks out in the grass here, you know, much more so than the pied did, who kind of blends in a little better, and that's why you don't really see albinos in the wild, even in the Everglades here, because they would stick out like a sore thumb. They would never make it. Once again, albinos are cool, but albino champagnes are really cool. Finally getting them in some good light, you can actually see the differences in the contrast and the pattern. They look like little puzzle pieces that kind of fit together. Those are really, really, really cool looking boy here. Nice and healthy, eats well. Just look at that baby. And he's actually not moving, so we could actually get some nice action shots on him without him running off camera. Now, like I said, it's a little chilly out here. I was surprised that the pied male was moving around so much, because usually when it's cold, you know, they won't move quite as much. Obviously, this is kind of the breeding season to these guys. I'm not breeding him because the female just doesn't seem big enough to me yet. She's a champagne head albino. You've seen her in some of my past videos. He's definitely, I think, would be fine to breed right now. I think I'd like to put one more year of size on her. I'm not in the rush, you know, at this point. I would like to produce something pied-wise this season. I don't know if the females are going to go. I haven't really seen any breeding action. I'm going to try to. I usually don't feed my snakes during the breeding season, but I'm gonna put a couple meals into them tonight. Nothing big. Maybe that'll spark something from them, and then I'll put the males back in with the females again. I only have that one male pied. He's going in with the two sisters. I've been rotating them back and forth, but like I said, I haven't really seen any breeding action. But it's still early in the season. It's only early January, you know. So sometimes you don't see any breeding action until February, March. You know, usually before March, but. I would expect to start seeing breeding action like in the next couple weeks into February, and then 60 days after that, obviously I'd like to see some eggs on the ground. Once again, this guy is he's not in the breeding season or into the breeding program this year, but he's gorgeous, so I had to just bring him outside because we're just looking at cool stuff today here at Burmese Pythons and Boas. Let's see what else we got. All right, and last but not least today, this is one of my favorite snakes I have in my collection. This is a fire opal, which is a hypo, or a Moonglow, which is a sharp albino hypo with the blood gene. So it's a double recessive with hypo. And this guy is in the breeding project. I produced him 2 years ago. He's breeding this year, hopefully, with a double het boa woman caramel blood. So we're gonna hopefully produce a lot of paradigm bloods with this guy. It's one of my favorite combinations. So we're putting him to good use. We'll see what he produces. Hopefully he gets the job done. He is just gorgeous. I mean, the saturation of red in this guy is just exquisite. He's got an amazing tail with whites in it. He's got white speckling throughout his entire body. You know, most boas that are albinos will get yellower as they get older, and he's got a little yellow in him, but he's got like a tremendous amount of red saturation in him from the blood gene. And I don't know what all that white is, but this great white speckling. It almost looks like a Amazon tree boa with the way the white is peppered throughout his body. And look at around the tail there, and that's probably from the hypo gene. Usually, when they have the hypo gene, the tail has got an outline of white on it, and that's how you can tell hypo is in there. Really, he's loving this tree, huh? Look at him. He's just kind of chilling out here in nature. Probably he's never been in a tree his entire life, this snake. Maybe when he was a baby, I put him in a tree for some pictures. But he's wrapping around. Look at that, holding on. He knows what to do. Never been in a tree, but he knows exactly what to do, and that's just instinctual by nature, obviously. So it's nice to be able to take your snakes outside, Here in Florida, obviously, it's a little warmer in the winter than it is other places, so I get the added advantage. You can see the wind blowing the trees around, and he's holding on. It's probably going to get a little chilly tonight. That's okay. A little coolness. It's funny, I have to put the air conditioning on when it gets cool here because my snake building is so well insulated that it's almost impossible to get the temperatures I want. Now, the boas don't need to get that chilled. You know, they only need the upper 70s, but I have my Australian pythons. I got to get down cold into the 60s, so, and they're in the colder room. So I run my air conditioning year round, which is not great for the electricity bill, but it's not like we have to run heat here ever, except for the hot spots, I guess. It all balances out. All I know is I never have to worry about heat here. That maybe once a year we put the heat on it, if that much. Usually in my house, it never goes on because I like it cool. I have the fans blowing, my ceiling fans all night. All right, look at that boy. Happy boy here. Fire opal. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have a bunch of beautiful paradigm bloods this season. All right, guys, that's it for today. I have my albino champagne Burmese Python here. He got to come out and play as well as be pied. And I hope you guys are having, once again, had a great week and you're gonna have a good weekend planned. Hope you enjoyed some of the cool stuff that I just like to, sometimes I just like to play with cool things that I have in my collection, you know. It's not all about breeding and babies and eggs and, you know, what we're gonna be producing next year in genes. Sometimes it's just about the cool snakes. And that's what we talked about today, the cool snakes, and we got to look at some stuff outside in nature and natural sunlight and see what these things really look like. Because after all, if you don't love what you work with and you're not really into it, and it doesn't get you excited to just hold a snake, and you're only breeding for the money or for the business aspect of it, you know what? You're never going to be successful as far as I'm concerned, because you got to just love the snakes too, and I really do. And the reason that a lot of people ask me why do I work with Burmese pythons, the big snakes. Florida's always trying to like make laws against them. It's because, you know what, I enjoy them. I like them. I really love them. These things are like, I hate to knock. I don't want to knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself. I've never had a Burmese python that was really nasty, never. These, sometimes in their babies they're a little nippy, but when they get to be this size, man, they're just like, it's like having a dog, a cool dog with a lot of muscle. And hey, I'm all about bodybuilding, right? That's where I come from. That's my business. So I can relate to these, as you might call them, muscle snakes, so to speak. All right, guys, I hope you're having a good one. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button. We'll see you back Monday morning.